Happy Friday, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro, and I am keeping an eye on radar. Today is a weather impact alert, at least through 5 o'clock in the evening, because of exactly this. I am monitoring some healthy tropical downpours, and they could lead to some localized ponding, localized high water, especially if we see what I'm noticing right now in North Houston, pushing towards Steco, moving on to Jersey Village. It's this thunderstorm that hasn't really moved a whole lot over the last hour or so. In fact, it's starting to get a little bit extra charged. I'm seeing now some lightning in North Houston, not a lot, but some intensification too by way of how much rainfall is coming down. So I'll pause the radar right there so we can get a sample of what the rainfall rate is. When I start to see those deep reds, I'll just show you what's coming down just north of the heights. 2.5 inches per hour. So that's the rainfall rate. If it doesn't move over the hour, that's how much rain we would accumulate. It's moving a little bit, but not a lot. And then look at this magenta color. That's likely radar picking up on a little bit of small hail. That's what it usually signals. Obviously, this isn't the rainfall rate that we would see. The reflectivity is a little stronger because it's likely bouncing off of an icicle, and that's more than likely melting before reaching the ground, but still a good indicator of what kind of moisture we are expecting throughout the day. And again, the lightning count, not very impressive. I'll show you over the last 10 minutes, there's only been one lightning strike. So for the most part, it is going to be rain that we are concerned with throughout the afternoon, and just watching the rainfall rates and their progression. Are these storms advancing or are they staying stuck? This is a loop over the last, let's say, 2 hours. And you'll notice it stayed pretty stuck, starting to gently nudge towards the south and west, but at a very slow jog. So let's kind of zoom out a little bit and show you what other spots that we are watching. The loop in the Beltway right now, pretty clear. Now we're starting to see one bubbling storm trying to get over to the Hunters Creek area. So let's go ahead and zoom in on that one as we approach the interior of the city. So Spring Valley to Hunters Creek, you're starting to see some rain. Spring Valley is on the lighter side. Hunters Creek, it's pretty moderate, but if you're along the loop, that's where the heaviest rainfall is right now, right over Westview Drive. Lamar Terrace, for now, you're mainly dry, but look out for the potential of those heavier rain bands to start pushing a little bit further south and closer to you over the next hour. Another area that I will be watching is closer towards Lake Houston. So Atascocita to Dogwood Acres, you've also seen a steady rain band popping up over the last hour. And Mont Belvieu, some scattered storms, not a ton of intensity, not a ton of coverage there. League City, so if you're going down the Gulf Freeway, maybe you were looking forward to a beach day today. So far, so good. It's just a little brief downpour as you go down the Gulf Freeway, but nothing in Galveston for now. Jamaica Beach, maybe some light spotty showers, but mostly thick cloud cover. It is going to be spotty, the coverage, but the intensity is certainly there because these are tropical raindrops, and so they are big and they bring some blinding rain. So when we do start to see these flare-ups in your drive, you do not want to be driving, because if you're caught in that, that's the type of rainfall that feels like you're, walking through the car wash. You're driving through the car wash, I should say. There's a boundary right there. So that's where the storms are firing off. So the sea breeze has pushed in, and with the peak heating of the day, it's starting to give us some heavy rain. Looking at the rainfall rate one more time just to keep an eye on it. So it varies anywhere between about 1 inch to 1/2 inch. So on average, spots like Fairbanks, spots like North Houston, Jersey Village are starting to see at least 1 inch of rainfall. Here, I'm going to sample some of these darker spots. So Fairbanks has seen about 1.75 inches of rain. How about Veterans Memorial? Same thing there. Aldine, just south of there, about 1 inch of rainfall, and right along Jersey Village, I'd suspect that's about 1 inch too. Yeah, 9/10 of an inch of rain, so getting close to that inch marker. There is plenty more where that came from. We're just starting to see the first push of the moisture moving in, and again, starting to fill in more now. So progressing from Eastgate all the way to Tascasita and then working its way down towards Sugar Land. So you'll notice there's a lot of moisture surrounding what's a broad area of low pressure in the Gulf. You've heard us talking about it all week long, the potential of this developing into a system. At this point, it's very low. Still, the National Hurricane Center is only saying that there's about a 10% chance that this develops into any organization. And it's pretty clear to see why. Look at how widespread that convective field is. There's no tightening. There's no visible rotation that's consolidated. It's just broad rotation. But it is turning counterclockwise along that area of low pressure. And so because of that, we're right in its path. So it is going to give us repeated rounds of some rain, which is why we've got that weather impact alert. It started at 11 and it's going to last us through 5 o'clock. Now you will still see some downpours all the way through 7, maybe even 8 o'clock in the evening. But I think the highest likelihood of you seeing downpours in your particular neighborhood is going to come in right at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So let's take you to that time frame. 2:30. We're starting to see some of those rain bands pushing south, like I mentioned, towards Katy and towards Sugar Land. Some more storms developing for Chambers County, lifting north and northwest. That's a snapshot at 9:30. So past 8 o'clock, things are going to settle down for the evening, but only for the evening because we've got another wave coming in tomorrow morning. So what are your plans early Saturday? That's a snapshot at 7:30. I, for example, are going to keep a close eye on radar because I like to do my morning runs a Saturday. And so if there are heavy downpours, something to consider. And if there's lightning, those plans get completely canceled. So you'll notice heavy rain bands moving through Matagorda into Wharton, Colorado. The loop and the beltway look clear on this particular model run, but that's not a best bet, okay? That's kind of just a general idea of where the placement of the rain might be. It could certainly shift as we get closer to tomorrow. And then another general idea I want you to keep in mind for tomorrow afternoon is that we are going to see a line of downpours moving in right around the time you're having lunch. The good news here is this is moving in earlier on in the day, so it means the rest of our Saturday, 3, 4, 5 into the evening plans look good. And then we still have a chance for storms Sunday afternoon, but they'll be a little bit more scattered, and you'll notice the intensity is not as high. So we're going to start to wind down that tropical moisture, really wring it out. For today and tomorrow, those are both days that we do have the atmosphere primed and ready to bring us some healthy downpours. And for that reason, there is the potential of accumulation and that leading to issues on the roads like high water spots, like street flooding. So we've got a marginal risk for that. It's a 1 on the 1 to 4 scale, and it's the same thing tomorrow. We are all under that threat. So that's why it's a good idea to check in with us and see how things are looking. Right now, things are looking a-okay at the airport. The cloud cover has dropped temperatures by 10 degrees from this exact same time yesterday. It is 86. It is still very humid, tropical air mass. 86 feels like 96. You'll notice the cloud cover is ever present at Hobby Airport right there. It is 88 degrees. Herman Park, it is 86. No rain just yet, but plenty of cloud cover. Your high temperature today makes it up to 91 degrees. Tomorrow, we're still tapping into that 90-degree marker. And then as we head into Sunday and those rain chances diminish from 70 today to 60 tomorrow to 40 on Sunday, that's when we start to increase temperatures once more. So we'll be back up to 95 degrees. All in all, I think between today and tomorrow, we're going to see most areas receive 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. However, because we're already starting to see some training storms, so thunderstorms that don't move quickly enough that could lead to excessive rainfall, there are a few bullseye areas that we'll have to monitor throughout today and tomorrow for the potential of maybe 3, even 4 inches of rainfall. So that's where the threat for localized street flooding comes in. We talked about the next 3 days, temperature-wise and rain chances-wise. As we head into next week, could we still see an isolated shower on Monday? Yes, I'm not completely ruling out that possibility, so there's your 20% there. Now, For the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday, if you're already trying to plan ahead for next week, high pressure is going to settle in, those rain chances drop off, and that means that those temperatures are going to kick back up. So we'll be back up closer towards the triple digits. If you like it a little bit cooler, take advantage of the rainfall that we do have, so long as you do it responsibly. Check back in with us before you hit the roads, and watch our next newscast, 4, 5, 6, and 10 with meteorologist Chris Ramirez. All right, we'll see you there. Have a good Friday.